This is television for the Isles of Scilly, brought to you with Worldwide Financial Planning, Truro and Penwith College, and the Scilly Lottery. From Radio Scilly, this is scillytv.com. The Council's new Economic Development Department has been opened by Lord Teverson, who used to be Scilly's Member of the European Parliament and is now the spokesperson for the Liberal Democrats on energy. The former Garden and Decor store will be used by the Economic Development team, including the local action group, and the Marine officer will be based there as well, with emergency planning around the back. Islanders will be able to hire the space for business meetings or consultation with some of the business agencies who come over and advise residents on starting or developing their business initiatives. Lord Teverson said it was important that our town hall team fight our corner, but there was growing recognition of the importance of islands and island communities around the UK.
Well, I think in Scotland is much more. Islands are much more important to Scotland historically and in terms of the total land mass. And so I suppose there's an understanding that has to work. Whereas in England and Wales, that part of the United Kingdom, then we are an exception here in Scilly. We are unique. Isle of Wight is very different. Is really almost part of the mainland. Whereas in Scilly we're an isolated community, relatively geographically, and so we have to make sure that we're heard. But it's not a national priority as it might be in Scotland.
Lord Teverson looked at some of the projects that European money will be financing, including the Porthcressa Regeneration Plan. He also heard about the local action group funding John Peacock's online boat booking service for St Agnes, and the vet support group, also assisted by the LAG funds. Their new surgery in Oldstown has just been completed. Currently, Scilly is able to access funding with Cornwall through the Convergence programme. Lord Teverson says it's important there's a similar fund in place when that ends.
There's very much a recognition that there needs to be a follow-on programme that allows a sensible wind-down. Now in the southwest, in Cornwall and Scilly, we don't want to be dependent on grants and handouts from Europe all of the time. We've had a good 10 years or more, probably 14 years altogether of that, and we want to wean ourselves off that in many ways. But yes, we want to keep that attention, and we want a good programme of transition that allows us to move from one to the other, and I'm optimistic that'll be there. But it is a way in which we do get attention, and we need to make sure that we replace that in other ways.
Lord and Lady Teverson learned about the Five Island School Green Team initiative, where youngsters recycle plastics and mould them into new items. Lady Teverson was so impressed she's offered to pay some cooling trays, which will help the youngsters recycle more material. Erin Marcus Plale and Phoebe Kirkby are from the Five Island School Green Team. And while Lord Teverson may have come over for business to open the new unit on Porthmelon, he says coming to Scilly is always pleasurable.
One of the things that always really inspires me is that every time I come back, something new is happening, the spirit is even greater, and I see a vision and working together that I don't see in a lot of other parts of the world that I deal with.